Deja vu! Greetings and welcome to Smartwatch Ticks. We're a YouTube channel on the web at smartwatchticks.com. We're looking at a box with AllCall A-Watch GT inside. Why did I say deja vu? Because you've seen it before, folks. There's definitely a pattern emerging from what we're seeing coming out of China in the terms of Android smartwatches in particular, and that is the exact same watch is being released with minor changes by a different company. And this is no exception. For those of you knowledgeable about your smartwatches, as you take a look at this one, I know you read the title already, so you know what it is, but there's only one watch that has a front-facing camera and side-facing camera right together with a couple of buttons. A bezel looks like this. I mean, it is exactly the Kospet Prime. Yep. I mean, 100%. But we're going to take a look at this one anyway by AllCall. And why? Well, one of the good reasons is price. We're coming to you from Banggood, and right now it's at a $129.99. Check the show notes to see if we've got discount coupons, flash sales, whatever's going on that. The A-Watch GT has the face unlock feature. It's a full 3 gigabyte, 32 gigabyte, just like the regular Kospet Prime, not the Prime SE, mind you, which is the lower memory, which is coming in at about $100 or so on special. But this one is significantly lower in price than the base 3 gigabyte, 32 gigabyte Prime. It's got the same battery, it's got the same LTE. In fact, the specs are overall identical. As you go through, you've got Android 7.1.1, you got the 2 megapixel front-facing camera and an 8 megapixel side camera for landscape. It's using the Y-Watch 2 for tethering. There's our memory configuration, network information, the 400 by 400 pixel IPS, slightly larger screen than we see in other watches, but exactly the same as in the Kospet Prime, and all the other things that are supported on this particular watch. So let's go through the box quickly, since we've seen this all before. We have the insert. Oh, this is something new. They put in a bag of silica gel. I haven't seen that in a watch before. We've got a bag of screws for the back to replace if it gets lost or stripped, where you put the SIM card in here. You've got an extra screen protector. Usually comes with one. You see the edge on there right now? Yeah, this is an extra one. We've got the box, and in the box should be, as expected, the charging cable. It's a basic USB to micro USB connector that plugs in here in the dock, and you've got the specialized screwdriver with a really unique tip on it. You see that? For doing the screws in the back. This thing slaps right on the bottom, magnetically couples. Seen it all before. By the way, I'm not going to go really deep into this one because we really have done several extensive reviews on the original Kospet Prime and the Prime SE. So we'll have links in the video. You can go over and watch those. If you're interested in this particular type of watch, then you now have a few different choices. And we're showing you the manual, of course, because these you normally cannot find online. And if you want to refer to them, well, we want you to know you can always come to smartwatchticks.com. And usually toward the very beginning, we page through each of the manuals. Yeah, it makes the reviews a little longer, but you can always fast forward, which is what's really cool about YouTube, right? Or freeze frame, depending on if you need it or you don't. Okay. That's everything on that. We're going to charge this up, turn it on for you, and I'm going to compare it side by side with the original Prime from Kospet. Here they are, side by side. Can you tell which is which? Not really, unless you turn it on. 1, 2, 3, and there they go, booting up. The AllCall on the right, the Kospet on the left. I mean, if I'm going to show you any differences between these at all, the bands are exactly the same. See that? See that? The hardware is exactly the same, so the only difference will be in the firmware. Each company has an option of putting a boot up logo at the very beginning. Aha, this one is starting faster into Android. Now this one's kicking in here. So we're seeing a little speed bump, but I've had this one longer and it's loaded with stuff, so it might be in that slowdown mode simply because of that. This one is now coming up with its opening watch face and the prime. 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, all call is faster. What can I say? The only other real difference you're going to see are in the watch faces. So we are back at the very first watch face. Let's go to the first one here and look through them. They are branded. All call is proud of their brand. So as you can see, they're branded here. This has not been set up for time or anything. I did go through the initial boot, though, because usually that is much longer. And that's where it asks you to put in your height and weight and whatnot on both of these watches. And then after that, you can change from metric to English if you want to, or imperial, in the apps. That's a new feature that's inside of here. So the watch faces definitely are different, and depending on if you see something you like, there's a Christmas theme on this one, then you might want to go for that particular watch. We'll look at more of these later on. I'll kind of space them out for you. In the meantime, I want you to see that when you slide down, you get this information. You get this colorful page here. This one we have on Wi-Fi. This one is set up already on Bluetooth. The brightness levels are comparable. There's the lowest one, medium, and high. Okay. And you got your cleanup thing. It's Android 7.1.1 across the board. Music control, one more swipe would take you to the weather screen. When you go left, you get notifications. When you go up, you're into the step count stuff, of which we don't have any really for today. And then you come over here to the app drawer. Now here we can go through and see that you've got your basic phone and messaging, which uses the SIM card. Neither one of these support Bluetooth calling. That's not a feature in Android 7.1.1. When you get into settings, you'll have in display, you will see that we have the option to change your sleep time, which I've got set for 30 minutes on this one. There is no always time setting on here. So on this particular watch, in both of these lines, you do not have the ambient mode. That's something that you have to get in a different watch. This has got the larger screen, the dual cameras, the positioning, and the huge, humongous battery in it, but it does not have always time. That's another thing a lot of people are asking about. The app list style, this is where you can go in the bubble one that looks like you're on an Apple iWatch thing. You got the Connect, where you do support Wi-Fi hotspot on these if you want to turn your watch into a hotspot, since it does have that big battery in it. Here's your gesture stuff, to twist your wrist to see the time, and turning on or off the pedometer is in here. And here we go. This is something new now, measuring. This is where you can choose imperial or metric system, so that when you put in your data for the fitness, you can be in the version that you want to be in. So you have pounds, inches, and your daily steps and your gender. We're not seeing that on the all call. So the firmware is a little behind on this one, but this was added with a firmware update, so I would expect that it can happen on this one if all call chooses to do a firmware update. You got power savings and language and input and date and time and so forth and so forth, but the other things I want to show you happen in More. More is where you've got your Google Play services and accounts, background cleaner, which is what you want to be careful with if you have any third-party apps installed in here. Like when I did Antutu reports and whatnot, those have been added to this one. You can disable the battery saver on those particular ones. For example, display brightness and floating toucher. If you don't know what those mean, watch another video. I talk about them all the time. This is where you would turn them off so that when you reboot your watch, or it just goes off and comes back on, you don't lose those apps. Otherwise, they will be cleaned from being running in the background. You have the screen lock stuff and face unlock supported on both of these. Everything else is the same. The RAM and the storage are the same, and everything else is identical. So again, to see more, I'm going quickly, but watch the review on the Cosbet Prime if you want to go into more detail. Here's the only other area we could really get in here and talk about are the name of the watch, right? A-Watch GT versus Cosbet Prime SE. Oh, okay. We're looking at the SE, which looks identical to the regular Prime. The only difference being the battery. So sorry about that. I mean, not the battery, the memory. This is the lower version, just simply because of the battery in it. But the build is identical. The watch looks identical to the regular Prime, to the A-Watch GT. They're all the same thing. Android 7.1.1. So you get down here to the build, 2019, December 25th, Christmas. 2019, December 12th. That's when these guys finalized their firmware with the watch faces that you saw, and these guys did the same with their watch faces. No wonder there's a bunch of Christmas-oriented ones on this watch, because it came out right on Christmas Day. Okay, what else can I tell you about? We've got the, where you go, the fitness stuff. Oh, that's when we go further down in here. Yeah, here's your face unlock capability on both of them. They bought browsers and downloads and calendars and clocks and the cameras. We've studied those in depth, both the forward-facing one and side-facing one. So they've been reviewed. Music, sound recorders, all the same. Your file manager, heart rate monitor, and now we get to fitness. And the fitness is the area where, we have the ability to do these different events, and whether or not they are tied to GPS. If you see the 3 dots at the top, you know, yes, they are tied to GPS. This one, I have a few events that I've done, and when you do something like an outdoor walk, and you summarize it, you get all of the information in here, including a historical track, and it is tied to the Google Maps. So you'll see your actual track that you walked, ran, or bicycled showing up on a map on that. And it's identical to this one. I don't have any data in it because we just unboxed it. When you go to the 3rd level, you can use GPS positioning when you turn this switch on. When you do, it's going to go through and set up GPS for you so that you'll be getting GPS signal to compute your distance. And that's an important update to all of these watches that we haven't seen for a while. It's great to see that the AllCall has that feature built into it as well. Weather, voice search, the Google Play Store, Google Maps, they're all in here. So all the stock apps are basically identical, including the system optimization, which is a shortcut to all these other things you see buried there deep in the settings, including your cleaning the task, the overall screen lock, and face lock. You have to set a screen lock with a password first, then you can set up your face unlock. And this is where you can quickly get in here to change those things, and so forth. Okay, wow. That's about it, except we can look at a few more watch faces here. Okay, the buttons take you back to the main screen. A long press on the bottom button does nothing. That's been a frustration I've aired to these guys for years now. Let us program that button. Some want a heart rate. Some would like it to go into camera. Some would like to ask Google something. Give us something that when you long press on the bottom button, you can activate it and let us choose what that is. When you long press the top button, you all know that you get this screen here where you can change third-party apps from a circle to a square within the circle, so you can get to the corners of those apps if you need to. It toggles back and forth. You have your recent tasks, and you can eliminate them or jump to any of them or hit clear all. And that works right here. You have the power saving mode that you can go into right here, or reboot or power off. All of that's available for you too. That little flash there, that was the power saving mode. When you go into that mode, it's going to just show you that time. So if you really, really want your device to be a very long life device and you don't need to do anything for it, go into that power savings mode here, and you'll be able to have a nice bright screen with digital time and your battery level that's left. Touch the X and you come right back to the current watch face. That works the same on this one. A lot of these watches do. So, parade of watch faces that are stock. You got these. And what really is fun is that third-party watch faces can be put on these watches. And I know on one of these, well, obviously on this one, I've got a few of the fun ones from Alrod that are in here. And there's a developmental thing that's happening with these stock watch faces now, not the stock ones, but the custom watch faces. That's new, and that's that the clock engine, the engine that kind of takes the code and shows you the watch face, has been updated. It's been updated in two ways. It can support animated watch faces, meaning watch faces that have special features that allow like a looping GIF image on it and much faster animation than we've been able to simulate in the past. And active buttons. You can have buttons on the screen, so if you touch it, it'll actually launch something. That's called active complications, I believe. Here you go, finally, something with a Cosbet name for their watch. And here, and I think the next one on this one is going to take us to one of those. Here's, everybody's big into football, right, or soccer. Here's an interesting digital one. A bright white one. You had a dark one and a bright white one. You could use that as a flashlight. Some gears. There's a few more watch faces, it looks like, on the all call. Now you got the simple one that you can actually make these yourself on both of these. At the very end when you scroll over, you have the option of bringing in your own picture and building a little digital face over that or under that, just like you're seeing here. Not sure you can put the temperature on. Oh, by the way, you cannot change the temperature to Fahrenheit on the watch faces, but in the weather report, you do get both centigrade and Fahrenheit listed, as well as the forecast for the next week. As long as you can update it on the network, you'll be able to do that. So, a lot of faces here. All right, let's just zoom through them. There's way more than I figured there would be on the all call. As standard watch faces, here we go. We're getting toward the end now, I think. And no, maybe not. Look at that. Wow. Okay, now we're getting into some of the ones that you can download from the server, which is right here. When you hit that plus key and you're on the internet, you can download additional watch faces, or you can install third-party custom faces, like connecting it to your computer, or even now, directly, Alrod has a way that you can go in, you can select, and you can download some of his watch faces. We've all seen that one. I show that one a lot. It's one of my favorites, the Surfer. This incorporates the animation. And there's another one with the little lines on it. This is really cool. Brand new one from him. All these are part of his, what you call the premium faces that you can purchase. You get like 600 faces all for just giving him a donation one time. That's really amazing. Oops, okay, this has now gone into the Google listening mode, and you can see it's actually capturing everything that I'm saying, and it's going to try to take me to a web page for that. And that happened, I think, because one of these has got an active button to do that. Here you go. Here's an example now of a watch face that has active buttons. That's the heart rate button. I touch it. It's going to turn on the diode, and it's going to start measuring my heart rate. This one's all jumping up and down going, I want to be able to do that. You can. We just got to put the faces on you. The other things are you can go here, and that'll take you into your running thing. All the stuff I was hoping we could get with a programmable button, you can now get with touch faces on here. And soon the watch companies will be putting faces with active buttons on their devices as they ship them out. Now, where can you get this? I'm glad you asked. You can get it from Banggood. We have a coupon for you down in the show notes if it's available. Oftentimes when they're on an introductory price, I can't get you any cheaper than that, and their almost out of the 129, then it's going to go to 139, then to 199 is their basic price. But of course, it'll never be that expensive. We'll always have a coupon for you, and I hope along about this level. For a 3 gigabyte, 32 gigabyte Cospet Prime equivalent, all-call A-Watch GT, that is a very decent price. And if you can pick it up at that level, I think you'll be doing yourself wonders. Okay, you've been watching Smartwatch Ticks, and appreciate your subscription and sticking with us. And be sure to check out the full review of the Cospet Prime because it is basically the same watch as this. All right, we'll see you again soon.